What's up, everybody? Welcome to more Heroes of the Storm and more FragBite here on Khaldor TV. Today we're going into the next match of the first qualifier. FragBite for the tournament invited 4 of the top teams and another 4 were able to qualify through the 2 qualification tournaments that FragBite was running. And these qualification tournaments, that's what we're currently uploading here. Also, once again, since the question came up in the comments the last time, the quality of the videos is a little bit different from what I usually upload because FragBite in their studio in Sweden runs a completely different setup for their live streams, and therefore it's a bit of a different setup. But once we are done with the FragBite videos, we're going to go back to my old quality. And of course, in this case, it's still a pretty smooth transition that you have there, just in case that question pops up again. But of course, we're talking about the games right now. We're talking about the recordings of the first qualifier, and in this case, we have now TCM going up against Kiev5. Now, TCM is a name that you might be familiar with, you might not be. In this case, we have Ace of Spades playing, a former Fnatic player. We have also Taz Dingo, for example, and Holo Corantus. We have Remabola and Chris Plosion. All of them players that you have probably encountered before in the Heroes of the Storm scene in Europe. And they go up against Kiev5, a team that has emerged, I would say, like a few weeks ago. And these guys are the real deal. They are extremely skilled. They're really good. And they have to show right now that they can really break through and mess themselves with the best in the European scene. But they've definitely shown a lot of potential over the last few weeks. And they really love on this map to play the Lost Vikings, but they were banned out. So in this case, they actually shifted things around a bit and dropped Rexa into the mix, which is actually extremely curious. It's a hero that we haven't really seen too much after the last patch. So we're going to take a closer look at that. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed the match, and we're going to jump right in.
And our game is already starting. We have, in this case, Infernal Shrines as the map. And to the left side, it is TCM. They're going up against Kiev5 here. TCM with Ace of Spades on Uther. We have Taz Dingo on Vala. Holo Corantus on Jaina. Remabola with the Lost Vikings. And Chris Plosion on Muradin. To the right side of the map, their opponents here, Kiev5 with AR on Falstad, Hydra on Rexa, Sphyxia on Kalthas, Lunan, of course, on the support, Solo Tyrann in this case, and Sir Ice Cream, one of the best nicknames ever, by the way.
Completely agreed.
On ETC. This is going to be a pretty sick game here at the FragBite Masters, and I am really excited to see how the Vikings are going to come and play. I expected them for Kiev5, but TCM, they just said, like, you know what? We're going to pick them away from them. We don't allow them to get the Vikings. We have seen their Vikings play on this map.
Yeah, so they're bringing it out themselves, and it's going to be interesting to see. Remember, an exceptional player in his own right, already running with the Vikings, one in each lane, just to make sure to soak. We have Eric quite far down there, and that is that's a barrel roll talent for Falstad.
Yeah, the level 1 talent for Falstad here, not going for the power throw, which is basically what you would usually see here. So goes into the barrel roll talent. That's very interesting. Gives him, of course, more mobility. We have a couple of really interesting talents in general here. Of course, when you see Vikings on the map, the whole idea behind it is to try and soak experience when the objective is up, especially since objective fights are going to last longer after the patch. You have now to collect 40 minions instead of only 30. And for the same reason, for these fights, we're also seeing Vala head into a multi-shot build over the traditional ones, trying to get AoE damage in so that she can have more impact during those objective fights and get a few of those minions down.
Yeah, so the extra range on the multi-shot can allow her to poke from a lot further away and hit a lot more of these demons. And I just realized I don't actually know what that barrel roll talent does. I've never seen it. I believe it's extra range, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it should be the range here that we have in level 1 and level 4. Then you can, of course, go for the reduction in the cooldown, and we have even a speed talent that later on. The one thing that I find really interesting here is that we have a lot of heroes where you could go for alternative builds. We've been talking about Jaina with the potential Conjurer's Pursuit on level 1, which has been neglected here. It's the Deep Chill instead. When you're talking Vikings, it's usually on level 4, the Mercenary Lord, so that you can get extra pressure on the lanes. But already Holo in trouble. Kiev moves in. They try to use the stun. They don't even need it. Down goes Jaina. First blood on the side of Kiev5. Well played here. And this is a great start for them, especially with the timing. It works out perfectly. They have the level 4 talent, and now they dominate the shrine, at least for the next few seconds. But of course, Jaina is already on the way back. And look at the bot lane, where we have Falstad in play. He's the hero that they are trying to use to counter the experience soak of the Vikings.
Yeah, it's going to be very effective at doing that. He's moving up to the mid lane now as that wave was pushed up a little further. Bit of resistance coming in from TCM, though. We do see Falstad go down to that Blizzard. Falstad, though, coming up here, going to try and deal with this. Kiev5 was the one who went down. Falstad coming up here to help out. And TCM did gain a bit of control, but they're going to back up. They do still not have the Vikings here, so it's still a 4 vs 4, and they took a bit more damage after going into that kill.
They want a long fight here. The longer the fight lasts, the better the experience leads thanks to the Vikings, and they are trying to get the kill against Misha. Hydra is controlling him, but the Icelands takes him down. We have level 4 talents, and there is that mercenary lord that I was mentioning earlier. Now the Vikings can push these lanes even harder if there is a mercenary camp pushing in. We have also on Tyrande no shield or anything like that. No, instead it's the healing ward that they are trying to use here. Really interesting. Also, of course, that static talent that we have for Falstad, who did not go into this barrel roll talent here. He wants to go for the lightning damage. That's a very interesting build that we are seeing currently on Falstad, something that we don't have too often. In general, there's very cool things that are currently happening on the talent side, especially, of course, with ETC going into both tower slide talents and not even going for those heal talents that we see a bit more often these days.
Misha dropping very low here, but they were able to lock down Chris Explosion. He does go down. Misha getting healed up. Will just get out of here, able to survive. And they're going to be able to collect most of the rest of these demons. This will be the first Punisher of the game, going over to Kiev5. But on the point of the Falstad you mentioned, very much going to what used to be the old-fashioned duelist build here. It is a very, very interesting style.
It's definitely something that we have seen in the past, but normally these days we have these solid lockdown builds on heroes like Falstad, but AR is definitely changing things up here a bit. And that is going to be very, very cool. So at least for now, we have level 7 talents, a bit faster for TCM. Muradin has to move away here. That Punisher, of course, is still moving in. There's also the cleanse on Uther, who finally went through the draft once, and the searing attacks for Vala for the extra damage on single target, which helps in this case against the Punisher too.
Alright, been getting that knockback onto Uther, make sure there was no stun. And this Falstad talent gone for first aid, like you said. So he has that bit of sustain, the potential for the shield talent, because he has the extra hits on that lightning rod, so that he can get a potentially much bigger shield if he does go into a bit of a duel with someone, so he can survive a lot longer in these fights. It's a very old build, but it's still going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's nice to have that adjustment here. By the way, we have also a bit of wave clear potential here now on the side of Rexa, who went into both of those Hawk talents that he has. And in this case, of course, it's going to help him clear waves a lot easier. And also, I want to highlight again that we have for Jaina a full build going into Deep Chill, Snowstorm, and Frostbitten, not bothering with an Arcane Intellect. So the mana management on the side of Jaina has to be exceptional to make sure that she is useful in these fights, which is one of the reasons why Holocorandus is not just spamming his spells out the entire time.
Yeah, it does, however, make him exceptional clearing up these demons. They just drop so quickly to that blizzard. And they're going to have to be very careful with that. Throwing down that instead to finish off the tower and maybe catch some damage onto some heroes, but not going to be able to do too much. The Vikings still doing a very, very good job with soaking here.
Yeah, that's of course the main reason why you would play the Vikings on this map, that you're always trying to just like get a slight lead in experience, especially hitting that level 10 faster is one of the main ideas behind it. But I actually have to give Kiev5 some credit here. They've been able to negate most of the experience advantages of the opponent so far. Of course, TCM is a bit ahead, but in general, if you run the Vikings on this map, you are hoping for a bigger lead.
Yeah, we just saw ARR there get out of a situation where he was taking a lot of damage very nicely with the fact that he had the extra range there and that on his barrel roll and the first aid, so it actually worked out really well for him.
It's also the Reign of Vengeance that we've been talking about.
Yep.
Usually when you are playing on this map, you would really like to go into Strafe. Just in general on Vala, it's the dominant heroic ability, but the problem that they have is that they don't have a lot of stuns against the potential mosh pit, so going into Reign of Vengeance really helps them. Nice Divine Shield to keep Muradin alive as the level 10 abilities come into play for Kiev5 now too. We have them with a Mighty Gust, the Bestial Wrath, Phoenix, Shadowstalk, and the Mosh Pit, which is the talent that forced Tazding to go into Reign of Vengeance for the lockdown.
Yeah, so that Reign of Vengeance is one other way that they can cancel that Mosh Pit, but right now it's all about positioning, due to the fact that if, well, people who have stuns get caught in the Mosh Pit, then this fight is basically all over. Falstad from the top doing a lot of damage to the Vikings, but ETC taking a lot of damage. Mosh Pit in the back catches Muradin as he tries to escape, and Jaina drops so quickly here. Uther also out of position, gets Mighty Gusted to prevent the escape, and he drops too. Beautiful engaged by Kiev5.
Really well done here. I mean, that was an amazing engagement, and especially ETC, he did not only get the Mosh Pit in, he got the Mosh Pit exactly against the heroes which he needed to trap here. Well played, they burst them down, and now it's 5.25 kills against 1.25. And this is, of course, a great position to be in, especially since Balog is now also going down. It's only a Viking, but still, that's more experience that TCM now loses out on. And it's also the second Punisher for Kiev5. They have everything that they need at this point to start to take the lead. Level 12 versus level 11. They are trying to hit the level 13 faster, and it's looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick up this tower here. They're not going to be able to get the fort. The Punisher dived too deep and did just get taken down there. But with multiple towers and the fact that Falstad flew up to the top lane so quickly to soak XP up there, the second they won the fight, he didn't even wait to finish off those demons. He just went straight up to top to soak.
And talking about like soaking, we have at the bot lane currently nobody in position here for either one of these teams. The wave are gonna collide there. Falstad is taking the top. He also has now the assistance of that camp that they just took. And the bruiser camps in general on maps like this one on the tileset here can do so much damage. But at the bot lane, there's another potential death. Yes, once again, Remaballer losing Eric and Olaf, two of the Vikings. And he needs to be really careful here, because the Vikings are really one of the big assets that they have, but so far, they haven't really done anything.
Yeah, the Vikings give a huge advantage, but if you keep giving them up like that, then you're missing out on the soak, and you're giving away little bits of XP here and there, so you can't, that is the risk you take when you go with the Vikings. Level 13s are available for Kiev5, and we do in fact see that Wildfire Bear, like we were talking about, and the Chain Bomb, so huge potential for wiping out demons here. A nice giant killer for Falstad as well, district damage and ETC. Well, he is a tank. He's going for that spell shield.
This is a very interesting hybrid build on Falstad, I have to say. I mean, first of all, on level 1, the extra range on the barrel roll, which is great if you are trying to escape here. It allows it to just be so much more mobile. Then the extra strikes on the lightning rod here with the 2 additional targets. But not really a lot of synergy that we have with these talents. Oftentimes when you see a hero going into Giant Killer, then you expect him to go for something like Seasoned Marksman or at least the Power Throw. There's a lot of, like on level 7 even, Secret Weapon would have been great for this, but he decided to go into the extra sustain. Which again I suppose makes sense since they're running Tyrande as the solo support here, so they need something to keep these heroes alive. So considering the team composition, I would say that the level 7 talent at least makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, Giant Killer is still a large amount of damage anyway, so why not keep your assassin alive to do that damage? In this case, that damage is on to Chrisplosion. Chrisplosion backing up, does get stunned by Misha there, but they're not able to get a huge follow-up for it. And now it's all about the positioning. We see very cautious positioning from TCM here. We actually have Tastingo and Chrisplosion still grouped together, despite them being the ones who could cancel a mosh potentially. They're finally going to split up here. Now Chrisplosion's still taking a load of stuns, but they can't get too much out of it.
13 versus 13. Muradin goes in. Mighty Gust immediately being used in the Shadow Stalk as well. Ramaballer in the backline is going straight for Sir Ice Cream, but there already comes the Power Slide on ETC. Those 2 spell shields, you have 3 in total in play right now. They do so much work against Jaina and Khaldor. Here comes the Mosh Pit, and they're going for Muradin. They don't get the kill. Hydra moves in, takes him down, and the Ring of Frost is being used, but TCM is already down 1 hero. And we have a lot of the players on Kiev5 rather low, but it doesn't matter anymore because they get the Punisher, and Air flies in and Tastingo is cut off and eliminated. What a play here. Not only the kill against Muradin early on by Rexa, but then also the second one against Vala as the Punisher is already moving straight into the mid lane to eliminate another fort.
EDC timing that mosh pit perfectly. He didn't catch the 2 stunners, but the second that Divine Shield on Muradin went down, he was like, well, we're just going to lock you down and burst you. In this case, Hydra was able to pick up the kill because Muradin very nearly escaped, but that was perfect. Vala was too far away to get the Rain of Vengeance right at the start, so the damage was enough to get Muradin into that kill range. So once again, Sir Ice Cream on point with these mosh pits.
The mosh pits are so crucial to them now. And also when we're talking Rexa, he has feigned death at this point. Rexa in general has been really working out for them. They've been doing so much damage with them on not only those minions at the objectives, but also when we've been talking about mercenary camps, he's the one who can just move in, take him. But now it's a bit of trouble here for Air. He's in trouble up at the top. They're trying to save him. Somehow he uses the first aid, but he's up against 400. Just a bit too much for him to handle.
Yeah, first aid and the Tyrande ult used there just wasn't enough to keep him alive. He'd already used barrel roll, was on cooldown, so not able to get out of that in time. But a valiant effort nonetheless. And level 16, very, very close for TCM here. And that once they have that they're going to be able to meet up with a grouped up Kiev5 as opposed to just trying to pick off individual people like they have been so far. There is that level 16, and we're seeing usual stuff, Stoneform, Benediction, and I would assume that is Northern Exposure.
Yeah, they have also now on level 16 for the opponent the speed medal, so the additional movement speed for 2 seconds. Those 20% can actually be absolutely crucial if you hit that at the right point, especially if you're trying to chase somebody down. The True Shot aura on Tyrande is going to help. Did not go into Shooting Star, which is of course a great synergy with Lunar Blaze on level 7, but that extra damage on the team is just very valuable. When we talk about Rexa and Kel'Thas, we have with Feign Death and Arcane Barrier now great heroes to keep both of these heroes alive in the in the fight itself. And right now, the problem that TCM has is that they really depend a whole lot on Jaina bursting the target down after it gets stunned by Muradin or Uther, but that doesn't really work too much for them. Vala, of course, can always add some damage in, but with that multi-shot focus that we see, it's more the AoE that she brings to the table.
Yeah, Vala is just AoE. She's got Blood for Blood to keep herself alive in this case, to take at least some of the pressure off of Uther. And Falstad, he has actually managed with his level 16 talent to make his team 5 for 5 in terms of stuns. He does have that hammer time. In comes the flank from TCM though. They want to try and pick someone off before this shrine to start. The mosh pit gets 2 members there, but nice Ice Block and Divine Shield onto Jaina there.
Much better here now on the side of TCM. The mosh pit is already out, and in again comes Muradin. Takes down Tirana. Muradin with trouble though. Grisplosion gets gravity lock, but he still gets away. Hydra is now suddenly being attacked. It's a kill against Jaina that happens first, but Muradin now dies too. It's a 3-4-4, and even after losing Tirana early on in the fight, Kiev5 still comes out ahead. They go for Testingo. They secure the kill, and once again they come out ahead in a fight even after losing the initial hero. And to make matters even worse, the shrine is up on the map and Kiev5 is close to get another Punisher.
That looked really ugly for Kiev5 at the start, but they managed to manage that crisis perfectly well and were able to turn that in their favor, picking off 3 members and a Viking of TCM there, and they're going to be able to get this Punisher as well. Falstad not even helping out with that. He was just clearing the lane and is now going to come up now that that lane is dealt with.
Kiev5 has just amazing synergy. I love how these guys play. For TCM, it looked really well, as you already said. The beginning of the battle was exactly what they needed. Mosh Pit didn't do anything. That was definitely something off their chests. So making sure, like, okay, guys, Mosh Pit is out. We can fight now. We don't have to be too careful with our positioning.
They
and
got
then suddenly, yeah, they killed Tirana. It's like everything works in their favor, and then something like this happens. Now it's all of a sudden Kiev5 moving in again. They have the Punisher. And you know what? They could actually take a keep now. I really feel that this is going to be the end of the keep up at the... well, it definitely is. I mean, it's at half health already. Didn't even realize that. But now level 20 is also close, which is another problem that they will have to deal with eventually.
Yeah, even with the Punisher completely ignoring the keep as well, Punishers care not for buildings or objectives and actually just like to go ham. But we still see Kiev5. We still see Kiev5 just going aggressive onto the buildings. And the Punisher following Crisplosion here. We're trying to get into range to get some counter damage off. The Kiev5, they've got what they need. They're going to back up. And the Punisher actually doing a good job here. Did leech onto that middle keep, so did a bit of damage to that too.
Yeah, Punisher did really well here. And let's be honest, if you don't want to go ham, you should go home. So Punisher already down. And we have for now the level 20 talents. Storm talents just picked. Storm Shield, 1, 2. Double Storm Shield makes you already so tanky in these fights. And Falstad is going for the auto attack talent, Nexus Frenzy, and that will of course work with him quite well since he went into that level 13 talent. The one thing that he still misses out upon is Seasoned Marksman on level 1.
Yeah,
at this point, even like thinking if he kind of misclicked.
Yeah, if I just showed you like the second half of that build, you'd be like, yeah, that's standard. And then I showed you the first half. The first half is very weird, but it is working out very well for him. And in comes EDC getting the stones from Muradin, but Muradin will be able to get out nice and cleansed from an ace there.
It could actually be a misclick on the first talent. I could see that.
It's working for him, so I don't see an issue with it. Personally, it is working very well.
Yeah, it's working for him, but it's something where I say if he wants to go into that auto attack build, it could have been a misclick here. But either way, as you already said, it's definitely working out for him, and he doesn't seem to have any trouble here. So for Kiev5, that's great play, and we at least have... I mean, it's not only level 1 talent, it's basically all 3 talents. Level 7 makes the most sense between going over the Tirana solo support, but I really like that Kiev5 is adjusting the builds on the team compositions that they have. That works out for them really well, and it's something that you need to do if you play on this level. Once again, we have them pushing in, and they really hate Eric, don't they?
Yeah, poor Eric. He actually was just able to escape death by a split second in the bottom lane, then walked back into it, coming back into lane. And we see Kiev5 putting so much pressure onto this. They'll be able to grab both these towers at minimum. And with this mercenary camp, they could go a bit further, but it would be quite risky. So they're going to back up and prepare for that shrine.
There's the 20 now, though. And now we have the Ragnarok and Roll, which puts so much more damage into the hands of the Vikings. Also, the mobility on Vala and Jaina with the Bolt of the Storm. Let's not forget about Redemption for Uther. Great talents here to take, and now they fight on eye level. They lost 2 keeps, though. And again, ETC is moving in. He's trying to take them down here. And the longbow, the Ragnarok and Roll, is dead, and that's exactly what they needed to prevent. Mighty Gust being used, and Crissplosion is all alone in the middle of the entire Kiev5 team.
Mosh Pit catches both the damage dealers here, but there's not enough follow-up here. Everyone was distracted by Muradin, but they're still able to take down Vala. And no, Jaina, one of the storms away, but AR is not giving up on this. It's the root talent from Jaina, but it's not enough. Down she goes. Crissplosion leaps to safety.
Air.
Oh, no, not safety.
Air is just like, no you don't. Immediately flies after him. And that's actually where that level 1 turn with the extra range was
very
perfect.
effective.
Doesn't get any better than that. There's the next kill. Already the damage dealers are down, and this is the opportunity that Kiev5 was waiting for. They took down the keeps early on already, and they're going for the kill. 14 kills against 3.25. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiev5 is gonna move on to the next round of the FragBite Masters qualifier. Well played here, impressive performance once again by the red team. Really well done and great play. GG.
GG indeed, as Kiev5 takes the game and takes down TCM. Now we're of course still in the early rounds of the tournament, and therefore all of these matches are best of 1, meaning that at this point Kiev5 advanced and TCM was already out of the first qualifier. They get a shot of course to participate in the second qualifier as well, but Kiev5 is going to try and continue to secure themselves one of these positions for the main tournament. At this point, guys, we're going to upload quite a few videos over the next few days, and I can already promise you that a lot of these matches are absolutely incredible. We had great games here, and all of them will end up on the channel eventually. I hope that you enjoyed the video and the game today as well. If you did, then of course give the video a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to Khaldor TV if you haven't done that yet. Also keep in mind, of course, that if you have any questions, you can always post them in the comment section. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. It was a pleasure casting for you, and I'm going to see you next time with more Heroes of the Storm and a bit more FragBite. Bye-bye.